Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest Chapter 111 is finally out, and I have to say this was an overall good chapter, though I do have my own grievances on how this concluded and what sets up the possibility for the end of the arc and how they will take down the Earth Dragon God. Now, overall, the action in this chapter is actually really good, and I'm liking the teamwork we see from Natsu and Suzaku, and dogramag's powers are very interesting, and we see some very nice panel work and artwork. However, like I said, I do have my grievances, which I will get into later in the video. But before all that, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. It really does help, as more interactions with these Fairy Tail reviews show that you guys like to see more Fairy Tail content on this channel, and I will continue to bring it to you guys week after week. So let's hit that intro and get started with the review. So chapter 111 of 100 Years Quest, titled Cries of the Earth. This starts off directly from where we left off, when dogramag started to face off against Natsu and Suzaku, and they've all stared at each other, getting ready to fight. We even see Selene is still conscious on the ground, but still gravely injured. Natsu and Suzaku charge at dogramag, as dogramag then shapes the ground around them to try and take off their footing. Mountains and pillars sprout from the ground, but Natsu manages to dodge and kick out of the way, and then he charges up a fire dragon iron fist to land square on dogramag's face. But it does nothing. Dogramag then manages to take the stone of the labyrinth around him and creates a giant fist, smashing Natsu into the ground. Suzaku then uses his own sword drawing technique, Underworld Purgatory Dance, to slash up dogramag a bunch of times. However, that also doesn't work, and he literally asks, "Did you forget? The labyrinth's walls can't be broken." And if they can't break the labyrinth's walls, there's no way that they could break him, as he then launches his own attack, Earth Dragon God's Zikitora, launching down a barrage, like a hailstorm, of stone, pebbles, and rocks from the air, landing on Natsu and Suzaku. Dogramag states that the Craig of the Earth tremble, as he continues to pelt them with hit after hit, with multiple different rocks, slamming them into the ground. Natsu continues to try and dodge them over and over again, and even launches one of these rocks back at dogramag. But dogramag breaks it, but that was a distraction for Natsu to land a fire dragon's talon on his head, which also did not work. Dogramag says that it's no dice, and hits Natsu right in the back, launching him away. Suzaku then tries to slash dogramag, but he catches his sword, hits him in the gut, and knocks him back. Natsu and Suzaku manage to set up their footing, but they're realizing just how tough this fight is actually going to be, as it doesn't seem there's any real way for them to damage them. Selene states that no human could ever take down a dragon within renowned as a god, but she says that she would face him right now if she wasn't so wounded. She sees just how beaten and broken that these two are fighting against them, but they're not giving up, not even an inch. However, she states that dogramag does have a weakness. Now, this is honestly my grievance for this chapter, and I don't think I'm alone on this, but she states that in the labyrinth, since this labyrinth is technically his body, for it to be so large and ever-changing and to be ever-connected, he had to scatter gemstones that sealed away his power all the way throughout it. And it's because of these stones that the labyrinth continued to expand. He used a few of these stones to help rematerialize his main body, and that's what he's using right now to take on Natsu and Suzaku. And a lot of the cores have yet to be accounted for. But even though they are not, well, a part of him, they do still give him strength. So if they can destroy all the gemstones, they can stop dogramag. So this is something that's similar to the Alderaan fight during the Wood Dragon God arc, where originally they were stated to, in order to seal him away, they had to destroy the cores. But the opposite was that the cores sealed his power away, thus making it so he would not go out of control. And it was a ruse to reawaken Alderaan. So this is the opposite. Whether or not this was meant to be foreshadowing on how they could deal with dogramag in particular is beyond me, but still, I don't like reusing the same plot device that we used earlier in the story, but it does seem like a very realistic way to give a weak point to a very powerful and seemingly overpowered character, since he can more or less shape the area that they're around since it is connected to them. Selene states that there are 72 of those cores, and that's way too many. And there's really no way for them to find all of them throughout the labyrinth, and destroy them before Natsu and Suzaku get defeated. But Selene states that she can connect space, and she does so by creating a portal to Gagio, Wendy, Gray, and Urza, and brings Happy along with her to help explain the situation. She calls out that Gagio found some sort of gemstone. He brings it out, and then she smashes it in front of them, saying that that's one of dogramag's cores, and now they only have 71 left to destroy. So they don't really have too much time to explain all the finer details, but you just state how dire the situation is with the Earth Dragon God taking down Natsu and Suzaku, and they might not last much longer, so they have to find and destroy all of these cores. So Selene is asking for their help. Urza says that they'll help them, and then Selene connects a portal to Laxus and Lucy's locations and explains the situation to them as well. But she does allude to the fact of dogramag and Ignia's true motives, stating that if they don't go now, then the world will be destroyed, and is asking for their help to take down dogramag, as the chapter ends. So overall, the action in this chapter was relatively well done, and I'm excited to see how this fight plays out. My main issue is the fact that we're using these dragon cores to show just how much power dogramag has accumulated over the years. So I'm not 100% sure why we had to go this route, but it makes sense to help Natsu and Suzaku take down this guy. But with so few characters around, even if they can connect to all the different cores, it might take a bit too long before the fight actually ends. Now, I think Natsu is going to have to go into Dragon Force to actually deal some damage and do something similar that he did against Alderaan. It's very possible that that fight foreshadowed how this fight should end up being concluded, but it all just seems way too, I don't know, convenient. Now, I'm still of the mind that even if they manage to do something, dogramag's not stupid enough to realize that his cores are being destroyed. He might let a few get destroyed just for the sake of it, but then just call the rest back to them and try and defeat them. And then Selene will have to take everyone and, well, just run away. Maybe explain the whole plan that Ignia and dogramag have for the power of the labyrinth or something like that. I'm still not 100% sure what that could be. It could be the revival of all the dragons that have died over the last 400 years. That's still up in the air, but I'm not 100% sure how this arc could conclude without the main characters either pulling something out of their ass, which is the dragon cores, and taking down one of the dragon gods right now, or them losing and then having to try and do a rematch with him later down the road. Either way, with this whole explanation, I see this fight lasting another 2-3 chapters tops. Because with this being the only fight left in the arc, and how fairy tale fights usually play out, it's not going to last too much longer. And there's no other fights in this arc right now, so we are going to see some sort of battle going on at some point. But either way, this was a really good chapter, all things considered. Again, not the biggest fan of the whole MacGuffin plot point of trying to destroy cores holding their enemy's power. But, I mean, if you're going to have a way to take down an incredibly powerful and overpowered enemy that cannot be taken down or even budge an inch from your own attacks, it makes complete and total sense. Whether they wrote themselves into a corner with dogramag, or they just didn't find a believable way to take them out without some kind of big power-up, is still beyond me. But either way, I'm excited to see where this is going. Where do you guys think this fight is going to go? Leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. I do read every single one of these comments, and I try to interact as much as possible. Interacting with this video helps a lot and shows you guys enjoy the content on the channel and shows that you want me to do more of these types of videos in the future. Also, liking and subscribing as well helps to show how much you guys enjoy these videos and shows that you want me to continue talking about 100 Years Quest for the foreseeable future. The previous review actually did very well, even though it came out a week later than it should have, so I'm just very happy about that, so thank you for that. And if you want to help support the channel more directly, go check out my Patreon and my Ko-Fi accounts if you want to see me do more videos outside the chapter reviews. It'll help me get more videos out a lot quicker and with a lot better quality, as I can do a lot more with them. But with all that said and done, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave your thoughts, opinions, and theories of what could happen in the future of this series and this arc down in the comments below. Like and subscribe as always, and with all that said and done, I hope you all have an awesome day.